the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun die or die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We was slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. UPK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard, they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, that's what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now, he got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity.
Right at it.
Hear the hunger in my voice, they used to tell me to speak up. The problem was what I was saying, they couldn't keep up. Instead of moving around with some patience, they tried to speed up. It got colder than a bitter bitch, found me a way to heat up. What's a favor for a favor if we all didn't make it? Kept it 100 with everybody, but they just gon' change. I ain't get caught up in the hype, cause I ain't feel like I made it. Couldn't picture me here now, but here's your moment to frame it. And I ain't never understand that self-entitlement spirit. I felt your vibe, I don't wanna get near it. Before I made the appearance, I took a second, took a look in the mirror. This God, Lord, the only thing that I fear. Y'all got me fucked up. This all passion, it's tradition, it ain't fashion. It's no action, they make threats and it's still passive. I think massive, no respond, that's still tact. Y'all should quit rapping. Cheap shots, I'm cinematic. I ain't average, I'm an overthrow fanatic. How I go, you lose and win like asthmatics. I got first, that's automatic. I'm the best in my division. In the ghetto like the pigeons, in the hood like the engine. You a bird for that chicken. I don't fake split decisions cause my mind made up, nigga. We in the end of time, but my time ain't up, nigga. I was young and running wild and wide-eyed like a cabbage patch. I had to get it as vivid, adapted to my habitat. It's certain certain shit I won't do, certain shit you can't prove. My shit sound like a payday, yours like more when the rent. If I had $1 for every dime you counted, I would be broke. Watch it be close, got a better chance, boxing the ghost. And they know I'm raw, and they know the spot, and I'm feeling lost, still in charge. I don't make it follow, I follow the law. Standing tall like they hear on Mars. I just got a call from my bro, he behind the wall, he told me let it off. Niggas lying for some cat, I got a different line in me. Everybody intimidated, I got that guy in me. You get focused on them dimes, I'd rather keep my nine with me. Help me get this off the ground, just know you won't fly with me now.
Nigga, I try to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna be the living. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home with the truth. I ain't never had to choose.
I'm trying to get beamed up, man. Y'all trying to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth. Y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up, man. Y'all trying to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth. Y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone west.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bashim, Shabrak Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Thumb Bashim, Yahweh Shat, all the sisters, and priests of Sabarak Yala. With the I.S.U.P.K, started out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Since 1969, we're bringing you the truth about the condition of our people, bringing you the truth about these scriptures and who they are according to the Bible, which are basically the real biblical Jews of antiquity, the so-called 12 lost tribes of Israel, who you may ask the people known today as so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Not the bastard over there in the Middle East slaughtering the Palestinians by hundreds of thousands. No, we are the real biblical Jews of antiquity. You understand? And tonight, the topic is that oppression makes a wise man mad. We're going to get to that precept as well. Why is it important to understand that oppression makes a wise man mad? Because understanding that we are a wise nation, and the reason why we act a certain way today is because we're oppressed. That's it. The reason why you rob, murder, the reason why you just commit sin today, the reason why you live the lifestyle of the other nations is because you're oppressed, because you don't know what your lifestyle is. You have no clue what your culture is, because you were robbed of your culture. It was robbed from you. Therefore, what do? You need a sense of belonging to something. In that sense of belonging, you get it by adopting the other nation's culture. You get it by adopting the other nation's way of life. You understand? And part of that way of life is voting, is democracy, right? And we're live right now on I.S.U.P.K Canada, Montreal, on Facebook, I.S.U.P.K Toronto, and Montreal on YouTube. So you might ask, what did the elections of yesterday have to do with Canada? Everything, right? Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, said he congratulated Trump, right? He congratulated a openly racist man. And come to find out, Canada is coming out as an extremely racist country. It is not the so-called make-believe Switzerland of North America where everybody's accepted and everyone has a chance. No, not at all. That's just the propaganda they push to bring in more people to oppress you. And who's the you I'm talking about? I'm talking about, of course, Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. We're on native land, and the Chinese live better than the natives. The Chinese in my city were able to close down a shelter, mostly inhabited by so-called Native American Indians. Why? Because they have more power than them. You understand? They have the respect of the oppressor. We don't. The nations know that when we don't follow our God, they have the power over us. They could do whatever they want. and nothing's going to happen to them. Why? Because God is not with us when that happens. God is not with us because we disobey him. You understand? And tonight we're going to see some of that behavior that made a lot of brothers and sisters expect anything from either party, whether it was the Republicans, the Democrats, and when it comes to Justin Trudeau, y'all want to replace him in Canada. The question is not with who, but why? As if his replacement was going to be better than him. It doesn't matter. Just like in America, where you have on one side the Democrats, on the other side the Republicans, which are just two wings on the same bird. What do you think happens in Canada with the Liberals and the Conservatives? It's the exact same scenario. Whether it's in Canada, whether it's in France, wherever our people is quote unquote given a choice, right, or the illusion of a choice to see who will lead them, who will rule over them, it's always the same thing. It's just a scenario. It's an illusion. Just to make you think, you know what? You have the choice. Therefore, if you win and it doesn't go as planned, well, you made that choice. And if you lose, well, you had the same chance as everybody else. But that's the crazy part. And let's get into that precept, right? I'm going to share my screen so you're going to see the precepts with us. Any questions or comments, put them in the chat. Right? If we knew exactly what this whole isn't that near a circus, what this whole circus was about, we would have never been voting. Let me share my screen real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7, where it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Listen, y'all went out to vote and y'all still expecting anything else but oppression from your oppressor. Because you're so oppressed, you cannot think straight. You can't think rationally, thinking that you may have a choice in who's going to rule over you in your oppressor's kingdom. Why? This is your oppressor's kingdom. Obviously, an oppressor is going to rule over you. And if there are oppressors to you, that means that you are oppressed. So what makes you think that either party will do you any good? You understand? And a lot of y'all really, they didn't even vote for Kamala because you didn't want a so-called black woman to rule over you, even though we know that she is not black according to her father's lineage. And then a lot of her sisters, right? Y'all voted for Kamala Harris barely because y'all thought that she was black. Y'all just voted because y'all wanted to abort all the babies you have in your stomach. You want to be serial killers. That's why you voted for Kamala. Come to find out, Trump won. Regardless, you understand, it's not going to change a damn thing. You made an unwise choice because you can't think straight. Why can't you think straight? Because you're oppressed like never before. Now, when did voting has ever changed anything for our people? And now what a lot of y'all are doing, y'all check the news. Y'all check the news from the US. What, and you're going to see what? That a lot of people, ever since Trump won, a lot of brothers and sisters, they want to move to Canada. As if Canada was better. Listen, Canada is as racist as the United States. It's just not as openly racist where the US brags about it. The US brags about making America great again, waving Confederate flags left and right, right? Talking about, you can find 1,000 videos of Edomites complaining about, well, my family had to fight for the land. We were poor. A slave was expensive back in the days. This is their idea of making America great again. Canada is no different. Canada, they make it taboo to speak about slavery. Like you never existed in Canadian history. They're barely gonna mention the fact that they committed a genocide against the Native American Indians. So what makes you think that Canada is better? Canada is just as bad, it's just as racist as the US. But you really can't think straight. You really believe that, oh, now that Trump is in office, let's go apply for our Canadian citizenship, move up north, and trust in another white man who may not seem as bad. Guess what? You're just like voting, you're choosing the lesser evil, and What do you mean it's not as bad? It's still bad. Not as bad is still bad. But here's the reason why you're making unwise choices, because you're oppressed. Again, Ecclesiastes 7:7 says what? Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyed the heart. What's that gift? It's that illusion that they give you, thinking you actually have a choice. You can actually be part of society. You can be like everyone else. You can be like white people. You can vote. Guess what? Voting is not doing a damn thing for white people, right? White people want to get rid of Justin Trudeau in Canada, so you want to get rid of Justin Trudeau. Whoever's going to replace him, if he gets replaced, is not going to do a damn thing for you either. That's the illusion they gave you, that you actually have a choice in your oppressor's kingdom. Listen, this kingdom, I damn near have to repeat it time after time every class. How can you think rationally that you have a place, a seat in a society that only thrives off of your oppression? Make that make sense. You understand? See, that's the problem with our people. We're dumb. Our people is really stupid. And as a matter of fact, it's biblical that we're struck with this stupidness, with this madness. Why? Because we disobeyed the Most High. The Most High let madness strike us like lightning. What was our wisdom? Our wisdom was just to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. We decided to do the opposite. Guess what? The Most High said, no sweat. You want to reject the wisdom? No sweat. Here's what happened. Deuteronomy 28:28. Salakia. It says, the Lord shall smite thee with madness. Yeah, y'all think y'all can make a change voting. Y'all think you actually have a seat somewhere in this society when you are the oppressed. The society is only thriving. Listen, okay, let me put it like that. The white man's world, right? When the white man's in heaven, you're in hell. And that's how he's able to be in heaven. But you think he will share his heaven with you. That's madness. That's absolute madness. And just for context, I could go up in verse 15 where this happened because we disobeyed the Most High. Deuteronomy 28 from 15 on down is nothing but curses that would fall upon us because we disobeyed the Most High. You understand? The Lord smote us with madness. Again, Deuteronomy 28:28, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. You're shocked. A lot of black women are saying black men let them down because they did not make Kamala Harris win. Listen, all the black men could have voted for Kamala Harris and she would still have lost. And you're shocked. You're shocked at the results as if you actually think you had a choice. Listen, in 2024, it's no secret that voting does nothing for nobody. It's even an illusion for white people. If white people don't have a choice, what makes you think you have the choice? The Electoral College chooses the winner already. It's all a show they put on. It's entertainment. It's all a show they put on. They have to make you think, you know what? You have a choice. They have to make you think there's a fair fight. There's not. And for those who voted for Trump, I'm talking to the brothers and sisters, don't be shocked you get slaughtered in the streets more often by the police. Don't be shocked. Trump is an openly racist man. He never gave a damn about you. All my Latino brothers for Trump. Guess what? Trump is deporting. Trump will deport all of y'all. And you will be shocked that this is the man you voted for. Listen, Trump said it doesn't matter if you're illegal or not. It doesn't matter if you're born in America. You're getting deported. Whoever you think you want to replace Justin Trudeau in Canada, guess what? Jamaicans are the #1 people deported in Canada. If he gets replaced, it is not going to change. What makes you think it will change? Y'all, listen. How many of y'all so-called Native Americans voted for Kamala Harris because Biden said, you know what, we have to apologize for the role we had in the residential schools. Just like in Canada, Justin Trudeau keeps saying this, oh, we will provide clean water. We will provide clean water to the reservation. That was over 9 years. Y'all still supporting him though. You understand? Y'all still supporting him and then be shocked when nothing happens. Nothing was ever gonna happen. Ever. That's the issue, right? We lack the knowledge that the Bible is our book and it's our remedy. You understand? Everything we need, how to conduct ourselves, how to go about everyday life is in these scriptures, is in the Bible. The Bible is not a white man's book. The white man told you that, and you believe him, and you run with it. Well, guess what? You don't say nothing about sleeping with a white man's woman. You don't say, well, you know what? We should not kill each other with these weapons because it's the white man's gun. We should not be selling the white man's drugs. See, this is the problem. You say stupid shit, Salaki. You say stupid things all the time, believing that you're right because the white man told you nonsense. You rather believe the white man when he say it's the white man's book. Believe the white man when he puts one of our brothers or sisters in a position where they influence you, just like the Sadducees and Pharisees influenced the people to kill Christ, and they voted for Barnabas. You are to believe them till you listen. Diddy said vote or die. Y'all remember that? Diddy said vote or die. Over here in Canada, they'll tell you if you don't vote, you are part of the problem. The thing is that if you vote, you're part of the problem. Voting in itself is not the sin, it's who you're voting for that makes it sinful. In what is sin? Sin is transgression of the law, according to 1 John 3 and 4. Don't give a damn about who votes for who. You, Black, Latino, and Native Americans, don't vote for nobody. Vote for Christ. And guess what? Christ is against all these heathens that vote and all the heathens that get into office. You understand? Like a lot of y'all were Christian who voted. Well, guess what? If you're a so-called Christian who voted, you must believe in the Bible. I mean, that's what y'all say. That's what y'all say you believe in. The problem is that just like the hypocrites who say, well, the Bible is a white man's book, so I reject it, right? But they don't reject the white man's woman, the white man's guns. You understand? Here's the thing. You're just a hypocrite because really, I'm going to show you that you don't believe what you say you believe in. And if you did, you would not have voted. And if you did, you would not expect a good replacement for the Canadian Prime Minister. No. People are complaining about the French president. Who gives a damn about the French president? If he replaced, are you not going to be oppressed anymore? You understand? I was on before I pull up the precept, I was in a room earlier on this app, Bigo. A brother said, well, if they remove the property taxes, would you not vote for it? I wouldn't. I'm gonna tell you why. Removing taxes is not removing oppression. There's gonna be some type of cheat code where they're gonna remove property tax and they're gonna make it harder for you to buy a house. Like you think they're gonna pass laws to benefit you and make sure it actually benefits you? Never. Like even when they how could I say it? When they let quote unquote the natives, be in charge, quote unquote, like I say, be in charge of the so-called reservation, right? Anything happens on a reservation. I live 30 minutes away from a reservation. Listen, you get killed over there, nobody will know, right? There's always a cheat code. There's a cheat code over there. They go to the reservation, they pose as natives, they sell all the drugs. The actual natives are as oppressed as they were, whether or not they were in charge of the reservation. There's always a cheat code. Nothing is for your benefit, ever. A stimulus check is not going to do anything for you. Again, We're going to go back to Ecclesiastes 7:7, but everything because you're so, how could I put it? Because you're so lost, everything they put in front of you for you, it's like, okay, the fact that you're lost, let me put it like that, right? Because you lack the knowledge of who you are, that the Bible is our book, you're lost in darkness. And in this dark tunnel, right, the light at the end is that knowledge that you are an Israelite. And it's this Bible from the Old Testament to the Apocrypha to the New Testament is about you and you only, right? You ain't getting that knowledge anywhere outside the ISUPK. The point is, the light is at the end of the tunnel, but it's a long way to go. And in your way, trying to walk towards that light, trying to get out of the darkness, whether it's above you, by your feet, left and right on the walls, you see all type of glittering things. And them things is what? Is anything that makes you feel safe, makes you feel like you found the light. But that's not the light. It's just glitter on the wall. It's these religions. It's this sense of belonging in a society that rejects you regardless. You know? Here's a proof that society rejects you even further, right? Before I pull up the precept again. Listen, if today a police officer would beat a gay black man, right? They're not beating a black man. They're beating a gay man. They have to exclude the black out of it. This is how much society rejects you. You understand? Everything is more important than you. Anything. But you know, because it told you, listen, well, you know what? We gave you the right to vote. After slavery, you could choose who's your slave master. You could choose now who's your slave master. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes 7:7 real quick. Salakia. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, right? And a gift destroyed the heart. That gift is that false sense that you have a choice. What's the heart? It's not talking about the heart that's beating in your chest cavity, in your rib cage. You need to understand the context of it, right? And this is the problem with Christians, Catholics, or anybody really that doesn't understand the Bible. They don't read context. It's not talking about your physical heart. It's talking about your mind, right? You think you have a choice, so you are part of the white man's world. You have a seat in the white man's heaven. You really don't. You don't. Voting never did anything for you. The moment you were allowed to vote, right? They try to prevent you from voting. And when Salakia, and when you managed to vote, you thought, you know what? Let the best man win. They never cared. Whatever parties wins, you're still going to be oppressed. You're still going to be a slave. And that's the problem, because you thought you had a choice, but you never had, right? Now let's get back to the Christians, to the so-called Christians who may have voted, to the Christians who want to make a change, right, in Canada as well, to replace the prime minister. Let's see if you're a hypocrite or not. Let's see if you actually follow what you claim to believe in. Let's go to Deuteronomy 17, and let's start at 14, right? Just for context, because I'm going to show you that everything we do, voting, because we want to, the reason why we vote is because we want to be white, right? Captain Hadar Yala broke it down the best, right? Why do we vote? We vote for the same reason that we buy luxury cars, that we buy name brand clothing, right? Because we never were allowed to do so before. We could never buy luxury cars. So what we do, nigga get 10 bands, 50 grand, he'll buy a Beamer. He'll spend the whole check on the most luxurious cars he could lay his eyes on, right? Don't worry about the jewelry. The jewelry is our culture, really. That's the point, is that y'all doing stuff that you were not allowed to do. So that's why you vote, You think, you know what, we were not allowed to vote back in the day, so let's take advantage that we have the right to do so now. Even if you vote, again, it doesn't do nothing for white people. What makes you think it does anything for our people? But let's see if the Christians are hypocrites or not. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 14, for context, right? And you're going to understand that some of the stuff we do, because we're oppressed and smote with madness, we just want to be like the other nations. Again, we want to be white. Deuteronomy 17 and 14 says what? When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Listen, we wanted someone to rule over us because the other nations had kings, because the other nations had, tsars and caliphs, pharaohs. They had a rule over them. So we wanted to choose a ruler, just like they're able to choose their ruler. All right, but we're going to see that voting is not the issue. It's who you're voting for that's the issue. You understand? Verse 15, Salakia. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. So first of all, this is one of the criteria of having a rule over us. He has to be chosen by the Most High. None of the people you ever voted for or you want to replace with someone else, whatever the case is, right, have been chosen by the Most High. None of them. How do I know? No heathen is supposed to rule over us, number one. Number two, even if you vote for a mayor, right, in your neighborhood, whatever the case is, listen, I don't even need to pull up their record. We know they're sinners. How do we know they're? Listen, that mayor is at the barbershop shaving his head bald. He eats all the pork. You know, that woman probably have like what? More than one sexual partner. I know they're sinners. So God is not choosing a sinner to rule over you. You understand? That's number one. That's number one. Let's keep reading. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. This is the other criteria. Not only he has to be chosen by God, but he needs to be an Israelite. Oh, keep that in mind. As a matter of fact, here's the other thing. It can't be a woman. It can't. It never said, thou shalt in any wise set her queen over thee. Listen, I know a lot of y'all, right? Y'all voting for your prime ministers, or whatever the case is, president, left and right. A lot of y'all tell you know what, let's vote for this black woman, Kamala Harris, even though we know she's not black. But if you really believe in the Bible, you would have never voted for Kamala Harris. It says you can set the ruler has to be a king. It doesn't say queen. It doesn't say he, she. It says set him king over thee. First of all, you should have never voted for Kamala because she's a heathen and she's a woman. There's only one instance where a woman tried to rule over us and it went bad. It went for like what, 5 years? She was disposed of. God said the order of things. The order is that, is God, Christ, man, woman, children. You can't shift things around. Right? But that's just real quick to add on to that. Also, it says, thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Meaning, don't seek to replace Justin Trudeau with the next person in Canada. There's not one brother who's going to run for prime minister in Canada. Even if there is, they were not going to let him. Canada is racist. They're fighting against black workers to give them justice for the systemic racism of Canada. Y'all voted for Trump and y'all think he was your brother. Why? Because he put out a shoe that looks like a Jordan? Because this man got shot. He got shot what, once or twice? And he's a felon. Automatically, y'all think he's a nigga. So y'all went to vote for him. But he's not thy brother. Y'all crazy. And the Bible says y'all smoke with madness. Y'all thought Trump was a black man. You could relate to him because he's a criminal. You know the thing, we're not supposed to be criminal. His whole family is a family of criminals. His whole people is a people of criminals. They're described in the Bible as vagabonds. They're a vagabond on the earth. All they do is thief, rape, murder. All right? But listen, all you need to do, y'all did the same thing as that. What's that president again? What's the president again? This man played the saxophone and he smoked weed, and black people started voting for him because y'all thought you could relate to him because he gets high and he plays music. The only reason why you get high is because you're so oppressed that you follow these other nations and you get high out of your mind, right? That's the problem. We follow these other nations is why we voting, is why we choosing a slave master over us. Damn, I think the Chinese said they're not voting ever. What makes you think that you have to vote? Why don't you tell the Chinese that they have to vote? Why are you telling only your people? The Chinese are saying, listen, I don't feel like I'm a part of society. I'm not voting. What makes you think you are a part of society? Because Juneteenth, because we have Carnival. Listen, we have some of the biggest carnival over here. Listen, the Caravana in Toronto, brothers and sisters think they're celebrating. The city of Toronto is letting them celebrate their Caribbean heritage. All y'all doing is walking half naked in the streets. Y'all probably dancing with the same sex. Y'all don't even know. Hey, no diddy. The point is, they don't give a damn. All they give you is that gift that destroyed your heart. They're not. Listen, I already made a history class about that. What do you call it again? Carnival has nothing to do with our people, but they make you think. You know what? Carnival is just like voting. I'm gonna say that Carnival is just like voting. The slaves were not allowed to participate in Carnival during slavery. Once they were allowed, they took it for themselves. Like, you know what? It's our right to do so. It honors our ancestors. Y'all say what today? You know what? Voting is our right to do so. We were not allowed to do it before. Let's honor our ancestors who did not have the right to vote. You understand? Daniela, SHALAM said, I smoked but did not inhale. This night, Bill Clinton said he smoked, he didn't inhale. Isn't Clinton? Yeah, y'all thought Clinton was a black man too. Why? Because he's smoking and he's getting head in the Oval Office. Listen, see, y'all associating with the wrong things, right? You should not associate with anything that the heathens do. That's the problem. And you do so because, again, you're so lost. You're walking in a dark tunnel, not towards the light, but towards shiny, glittering things on the walls next to you. That's what you gravitate to, right? You gravitate to Christianity, to Islam, to all these philosophies and doctrines, because you can't see in the dark. You're blinded by these shiny, glittering things that makes you feel safe in the dark. Not understand that it's a long way to go to find the light. Good night. A lot of y'all are close to the light, but you want to remain in the darkness with that shiny, glittering thing. That's it. Literally. You don't trust what's outside the tunnel. Because yes, you see the light, but what is outside the tunnel? Right? What's outside the tunnel, really? You don't know. And you're afraid of the unknown. You think, what if we, just like the Israelites when they left Egypt, they were complaining to Moses, we were better in Egypt. You know, let's go back. We were better in Egypt. We were better following these heathens. As a matter of fact, right, we're about to observe the feast of dedication, Hanukkah, right? This 25th December coming up. In the book of First Maccabees, let's bring that up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You're gonna understand that it's nothing new. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11, right? What does it say? In those days when they're out of Israel, wicked men who persuaded many. Listen, this is all the wicked Negroes, your politicians, your pastors, all your community leaders. They persuaded you, listen, you have to vote. Don't vote for Kamala or don't vote for Trump. Support Justin Trudeau. Said all of y'all Negroes voted in Canada voted for Justin Trudeau because he said he's about to legalize weed. That's it. He legalized weed, and all y'all are even more drug addicts than you ever were in your life, because y'all thought he was going to change your life by legalizing weed. Everybody said, yo, everybody rally to vote for Trudeau. Here's the thing, though. Whoever you vote for, your life is not going to change. Where's the proof? Y'all were smoking weed outside anyways when it was illegal. Now that it's legal, y'all still smoking weed outside. Nothing has changed. But let's read that again, right? First Maccabees 1:11. In those days when they're out of Israel, wicked men who persuaded many. A lot of y'all are just, you don't even care about voting, really. You were just told, listen, vote. Support the party I'm supporting. You understand? Just do it. Right? We're going to show you an example of democracy where we were also swindled by the Sadducees and Pharisees to choose Barnabas over Christ. Right? We're going to get that after that. Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. That's you voting over here right now. Instead of actually supporting your people, you say, listen, we're going to vote for Donald Trump. We're going to vote for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, y'all don't even know what you're voting for. Kamala Harris, she's what do you call it? Not an ex, well, you could call her ex-cop. She's a ex-district attorney. She's responsible for a lot of your family members in prison right now. And y'all just want to vote for her because she said she's a black woman. She was asked about smoking weed. I forgot. She said something stupid. She never denied smoking weed, but she said something stupid about it, right? Where she really said something stupid and hypocritical. But y'all just go for it. Y'all voted for Justin Trudeau, and y'all forgot this man had made a... Listen, I'm going to show y'all this. And this is who you voted for in Canada. They will keep reading, yeah? Listen, this is who you voted for in Canada. Y'all, do y'all understand how stupid you look? I'm gonna have to say this: stupid, dumb, you're struck with madness. This is who you're voting for. As if he could do something for black people. He said, let's work on systemic racism. That was what? 4 years ago. Canada is one of the most, Canada is as racist as the US, come to find out. Y'all try to vote for Kamala Harris thinking she black, and she's locking all of the actual black people for weed while she's smoking weed. You understand? And a lot of you wicked leaders are saying, listen, you have to vote for this person. You have to vote for that party because the other one is not good. The other one is worse. This one is not as bad. Not as bad is still bad. Why just not vote? But this is who you voted for in Canada. Just a reminder. Yeah, we're probably going to make a whole class about Mr. Trudeau. Let's go back to First Maccabees. Let's see why they wanted to make a covenant with the heathens. Why, as we could read, it says, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. You feel uncomfortable not being part of the society that's oppressing you. You feel like you don't belong to nothing. So you have to go back to Christianity. You have to go back to Islam. You have to vote to feel like you matter. That's the issue. If you separate, you think you don't matter. If you separate, you think you mean nothing. Well, guess what? If you integrate, you mean nothing. Literally. Martin Luther King, they killed him once he started getting radical because he realized, yo, listen, I led my people into a burning house. Martin Luther King realized his lascivious dream of sleeping with white women. He had post-nut clarity, and he woke up like, damn, this is what I signed up for. This is what I signed up my people for. Good night. I made a mistake. This, it's too late. The damage is done. And you were quoting a racist East Indian man. But the damage is done. Now, we don't even want to separate. This is what happened when our people are told to separate. You have coons and sellouts persuading many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. You want to join the white man because you think you're not going to be able to enjoy the lifestyle that he provides you. I'm going to tell you what he provides you. What lifestyle he provides you is a piece of lead to the head. That's it. He provides you stop and frisk. He provides you mass deportation. Y'all forgot Trump said Haiti is a shithole country. In Canada, again, the number one immigrants being deported are Jamaicans when they're not even the number one illegal immigrants. The number one illegal immigrants are trying to take over Canada. You know what they call Canada today? They call Canada New India. East Indians are flooding in the country like is insane. It's crazy. They're not deported. They're not mass deporting them. The Asians and the East Indians are the biggest illegal immigrants in Canada. In the U.S. as well, as a matter of fact. We're only pointing the fingers on so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Well, Native Americans are not coming here as immigrants, but you get the point. They don't want the Haitians over here. They're deporting all the Jamaicans. They're letting all the East Indians fly under the radar. And now they're starting to complain that they're turning Canada into New India. Hey, Lord be with you. You understand? Daniela said he had a Canadian friend once. Sometime he wants something, would just hand you a few bucks and tell you, yo, go get him something. And he thought it was okay because he's giving you money. Listen, everything sounds okay to slaves. Everything sounds okay to slaves, right? And the oppressor, because everything sounds okay to slaves, the oppressor thinks he could just tell you anything or give you anything. And it will sound okay to him as well. It will sound okay to him because it sounds okay to you. Because they make it sound okay. That's what they do. But let me help you out with what we should do, right? We're going to get back to this. I'm going to show you where we were swindled as well in the New Testament when choosing Christ, when choosing Barnabas over Christ. Our leaders failed us. It's not the first time. They're doing it up till today. But let me show you what you should do. What happens when you go voting, right? Let's go to Exodus 23. Exodus 23. We go to chapter 2, yeah? Exodus chapter 23, I'm in verse 2. It says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Listen, these Negroes don't know what they're talking. They tell you, listen, come vote. Just don't vote. Don't do it. We already read in Deuteronomy 17 that you should not put a leader over you that is not your people and that is not chosen by the Most High. Why would you follow a multitude, a group of people telling you, vote for the lesser evil? Listen, both of them are evil. Both of them are evil. What happens is that you're going to trust in these leaders who trust in America, and then what? It's going to bite you in the face. You're not going to understand why. Damn, why are we still oppressed? As if either party had ever had intentions to relieve you from oppression. No, they never did. What made you think that they did? Trump is an openly racist man. Like, that's It shows you how crazy we are. Why? Because we're so oppressed, we can't think straight. You understand? We're confused. And I'm going to show you that when you trust in the oppressor and you don't understand that oppression is the only thing you can get out of trusting the oppressor, you will end up confused. All the time. There's nothing that you could get from your oppressor but oppression. Look at Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Right? Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1 says, woe to the rebellious children. Woe, meaning death and destruction. Who's the rebellious children? Listen, that should be self-explanatory right now. Seeing how oppressed we are, how we rather trust in an openly racist white man or a melanated Caucasian woman posing as us. Listen, you're the rebellious children, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me. You don't listen to the Mosai. The Mosai said, be holy. Holy comes from the Hebrew word kodash, meaning set apart. And you want to be part of the American, Canadian, French, British melting pot. You understand? The Mosai said, listen, don't vote for a heathen. You should not set him a king over thee who is not chosen by the Mosai or who's not a brother. I'm just paraphrasing. But y'all did the total opposite. And what comes with that? Death and destruction. Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Why do you cover yourself? Right? What do you do when you cover yourself at night from the cold? What do you do when you cover yourself under the shadow of a tree? What happens when you do that? When it's sunny outside, the sun is beaming on you. Why would you cover yourself under the shadow of a tree? At night, when it's cold, shit, in the winter, why do you cover yourself under the blankets? Why? Anyone can respond. Damn right, Ak. For protection. But you don't cover yourself with the spirit of the Mosai. That's not what you do. You shield yourself, right? We'll see with what you shield yourself with. You don't cover yourself under the shadow of the Most High. We'll see under whose shadows you're shielding yourself with. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt. What is Egypt? Egypt, you have to understand the context. Egypt just means house of bondage. You understand? House of bondage meaning what? It means slavery or captivity. It's not talking about physical Egypt over there with the pyramids today. It's talking about our place of captivity. Egypt is not even the name of Egypt. Egypt is a Greek word. The real name of Egypt is Mizraim, but that Egypt, Egypto, is our place of captivity. So you go to your place of captivity, right? Let's keep reading. And have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. Who is Pharaoh in Egypt? He is the ruler of Egypt. Who is Pharaoh in the place of captivity? He is the ruler of your place of captivity. And if it's your captivity, that means you're being kept as a captive. He's the ruler of the captives. He's your slave master. And let's see whose shadow you cover yourself with is, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Listen, you do the total opposite of the Most High. What does Proverbs chapter, Proverbs 5 and 3 or 3 and 5, I'm paraphrasing. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. You trust in the shadow of Egypt, which is the opposite of trusting in the Lord. The total opposite. And let's see what happens when you trust in the shadow of Egypt. Let's see what happens when you vote for Trump or Kamala Harris. Let's see what happens when you vote for Trudeau or who, I forgot who ran against them, but that's irrelevant. The point is either party will still mess you up. Isaiah 30:3 says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. You will be ashamed if you're Latino and you get deported because you voted for an openly racist man that whose campaign was based on deporting y'all. You'll be ashamed as a black man to suffer from more racism under Trump when that was his whole campaign as well. Listen, you will be ashamed. Shame on you. You are ashamed right now today as a native who voted for Justin Trudeau because he said, we'll give clean water to the natives. That was 9 years ago. He has been elected since what? Since 2017. 2017, 2018, he legalized weed, right? They're trying to build a high-speed train from the province of Quebec, the city of Quebec to the city of Toronto, which might cost about $2 billion, right? Let me get that article real quick, because this is part of the confusion, because you can't understand how are you not getting clean water. Their excuse is that, well, they don't have enough funds. They can't give clean water. They don't have enough funds. The church said we don't have enough funds to give reparations either. Let me see. Okay, I got the article right here. I'm gonna share it with you. I'm just trying to get the numbers. There you go. Good, nice. I said, did I say $2 billion? Listen. What about the cost? It's talking about the high-speed train from Quebec to Toronto. It says Transport Canada has estimated that the cost of the high-speed rail link could be as high as $80 billion. Though some experts have estimated that figure could climb up to $120 billion. And this is the people who you trust in. The people who you trust in don't give a damn about you, whether you vote for them or not. You're not going to get clean water in Canada. You're probably going to get that 120 billion high-speed rail link before you get clean water on the reservation. I guarantee you that. Why? Because we should not trust in our oppressor. The Bible says, "Don't trust in trust not thine enemy." Let's get that real quick. And I still got to show you that we were swindled as well in the New Testament too. We were given a choice by the oppressor to vote in the New Testament. I'm gonna get just don't trust in your enemy, and then we're gonna switch, right? This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. 1 second, let me share to the screen. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy. If we knew, if we had the knowledge that the Bible is our book, it's not a white man's book, we would never vote, because not only are we not supposed to vote for a heathen, but we know to never trust the enemy. Now, what can the enemy do for us? Listen, he's your enemy. He doesn't want anything good for you. Matter of fact, he's probably plotting on how to destroy you even further. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10 says, never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. It is inevitable for iron to rust. It is inevitable that iron will show, over time, it will rust. It doesn't matter. You could have grew up with a white boy in your neighborhood. He's going to turn around and be a Trump supporter. He's going to turn around and be a liberal. He's going to turn around and be a conservative. You're going to turn around and be a Democrat. The right wing, the left wing, it doesn't matter. It's the two wings on the same bird. They're going to show their true colors regardless. You voted for Trump, give him a day. He's going to show his true colors. Listen, how many of y'all, how many women voted for Trump? When y'all forgot, he said, grab him by the cat. Yeah, he said, listen, just grab him by the box. That's what Trump said. You think he lost the women vote? No, he didn't. You understand? This to show you how crazy our people are voting for either side. And when you're trying to get rid of Justin Trudeau in Canada, whatever replacement that he might have is not going to be better than him. It's not. And if you think it is, just remember, never trust thine enemy. Ecclesiasticus 12:10 says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. He's going to show you his true colors. And it's inevitable. Justin Trudeau, y'all voted for Trudeau, and he had blackface. He said, I'm gonna provide clean water. It sounds good. Everything sounds good to a slave. I'm gonna give you some water. It sounds good. The water he gives you, if he gives it to you, is dirty water. Everything sounds good to a slave. They say beggars can't be choosers. What makes you think you had the choice? Like, y'all like to use that sentence. Beggars can't be choosers, and you think you have the choice to choosing who your slave master is? Then again, even that sentence, thinking that you have a choice of choosing your slave master, would you not want to choose to be free? Like, why choose to be a slave under anyone? How does that make sense? Make it make sense. You understand? Like, how do you think that makes sense to choose who is going to rule over you? What oppressor is going to rule over you? That's insane. Right? In one moment, we're going to get into Mark chapter 15, verse 7, like I said. Also going to get ready John 11 and 47 as well, right? Y'all need to understand that you should never have, you should not expect anything from your oppressor but oppression. It's damn like we have to remind you, yeah, you are oppressed, and you're not going to get anything from them but oppression. Here you go. Let's go to Mark chapter 15, right? Let's go to verse 7. So Mark chapter 15, verse 7, for context, y'all, so y'all understand, is when Christ was sold out, right? This is when Christ was sold out, and there in Pontius Pilate was asking the people, listen, who do you want to free? He had this prisoner, Barnabas. He said, who do you want to free? Who are you choosing? Just like today, I'm telling you, who are you choosing? They're giving you a choice. Who are you choosing, right? Mark 15 and 7. And there was one named Barabbas, so like a Barabbas, which lay bound with them that had made insurrection with him, who had committed murder in the insurrection. They're giving you the background on who he is and what he had done. And this is who was running. Well, I'm not saying running, but just for the purpose of the election talk, was running against Christ. And who are you choosing? Verse 8, and the multitude crying aloud began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. But here's the thing, the multitude is going to get swindled by the Pharisees. And we're going to see why they're getting swindled by the Pharisees. Just like you're getting told today by your leaders who you should choose to lead you, who you should choose as your slave master. You're going to see, right? Verse 9, but Pilate answered them, saying, will ye that I release unto you the King of the Jews? He's talking about Christ, So who should he release? He's asking the people, listen, you want me to release Christ? Who do you want me to release? He's giving you the choice. Verse 10, for he knew that the chief priest had delivered him for envy. Why? Because the Pharisees, the chief priest, delivered Christ for envy. Why did they deliver Christ? For envy? Why were they envying Christ? Now, what made them say, you know what, we're going to sell him out? What made them say that? For time's sake, we're just going to go right into John chapter 11, verse 47, right? So you could understand why they did what they did. John 11:47 says, then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? They had a council, right? For this man doeth many miracles. Listen, Moses and Christ, Daniel said they were scared of losing power over the people. That's what Daniel said. Moses and Christ, verse 48 says what? If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Just like Daniel said, they're scared of losing power over the people. It's exactly why your leaders are telling you, you know, are brainwashing you to vote, just like we read in First Maccabees. What did we read? Right? Because this exactly goes with First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11, where we read that wicked men persuaded many. These Pharisees, these chief priests, they persuaded the people to go against Christ because they feared that their position of power be taken away from them. They feared that the class that they have in the Roman society would be taken away from them. They want to remain second-class citizens that are in power of their people. Just like today, you have coons today who are in power of black people and Hispanics, and they tell you vote for this and vote for that, vote for the left or vote for the right, whatever the case is. They not tell you not to vote because they are afraid that their oppressor will take their position of power, and that's where they're comfortable. They found a place of comfort in the oppressive society. They don't want to lose it. They achieved the American dream. Well, here's the thing. You could only dream when you're asleep. You're not doing anything for the people. Really. A lot of people don't really give a damn about voting, too. They just listen to whoever tells them, listen, I don't know what's their policies, whatever the case is. I'm voting because I was told to vote for that person. That's it. They don't give a damn. They really don't. There is not one reason to vote for any party. Again, they're just choosing the leader of the society that thrives off of your oppression. You think they're going to stop making this society thrive by stopping and oppressing you? They're not. Like, what makes you think that? What makes you think that is the madness that you're struck with? That's it. Everything sounds good to a slave. Because it sounds good to a slave, like, you know what? It can't be that bad. Trump can't be that bad. He's there for sure. He's not as bad as Kamala, or Kamala is not as bad as Trump. You know, they say all types of things and they sound good. Trump will say, Justin Trudeau says, I'm going to give clean water. He never did. It just sounded good. He said, I'm going to legalize the weed. All you junkies voted for him. Everything sounds good to a slave. Everything sounds good to a beggar. Right? Beggars can't be choosers, and you think you have the choice because he made something sound good to you. This just a reminder, right? That the words, Psalms 55 and 21 says what? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Canada came out as being extremely racist. Justin Trudeau said, we're going to fight systemic racism. He's fighting against the people who are being affected by systemic racism. Literally. He's going to court right now fighting against black people who are just asking to stop the systemic racism. He's fighting against Native American people who are just asking for clean water at this point. They don't even want the land back. They just want clean water. And it sounds good. I'm going to give you clean water. We're going to look for policies to fight racism. Good night. I'm in the city of Montreal where Just this year, they started recognizing that um, the police department of my city is extremely racist. We always knew that. This is not new. The problem is because a lot of you, what you're trying to do, right? When oppression maketh a wise man mad, as we read earlier in Ecclesiastes 7:7, and a gift destroyed the heart. That gift is they let you in the police force to think that you're going to be able to make a change, right? What they tell you, you will make a change. You'll be able to make a change. You can try to make a change from the inside. You might have a few friends, right? White telling you, you know what? You should be a cop because you can make the difference. The words of his mouth is smoother than butter because come to find out, once you put on that uniform, you're not black anymore. You're blue. That I'm black first is out the window. First, you're a police officer. Then you are a Quebecer because you're in the province of Quebec. Then you are a Montrealer because you live in the city of Montreal. Okay, now you're probably even a Christian before you're a Haitian. Listen, nobody gives a damn about you. It sounds good at first. You're going to find out that they're only going to let you be a cop to help you oppress the people. Just like they had slaves, right? They had slaves in slavery. The master was walking one slave, right? So that we might think, you know, this master is not as bad. Or this slave is going to make sure master is not oppressing us like the other. No, listen, this slave is in a comfortable position where he's going to do what master says. He's going to say, convince these Negroes to obey me. And this coon is going to convince the slaves to obey master. Until he can't take it no more. It always sounds, everything sounds good to a slave. Everything looks good to a beggar. A beggar don't have nothing. And that's the problem. We do have something. We do. We think we don't. Because we were robbed of our knowledge that we are the real biblical Jews of antiquity. We're robbed of our knowledge that we have protection. That we have power. Because we think we don't, this is damn near the main reason why we side with white people. Is because we see them as the authority on the earth. We see them as they run the world. They're the most powerful. As a matter of fact, let's go there real quick. Right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 31. We read verse 1. Understand this. This is one of the reasons why we follow white people. Damn near all the nations, they have the respect for white people, even though they're rejecting them right now. But why were they all respectful to America, to white people? This is why. Isaiah 31 verse 1 is really talking about us, but you're going to understand this. It's all about numbers. It's all about who seemed more powerful to us. Nobody could go against the white man. Nobody could go against the white man, so why would we ever go against them? Isaiah 31:1, woe to them that go down into Egypt for help. Again, death and destruction to y'all who are voting, expecting anything from the oppressor. Listen, you need help in Canada, call Captain Hadar Yala. You need help in Windsor. You want clean water, call Officer Shire 1. You want clean water in Toronto, call Officer Zubadia. You need help in Montreal and the surrounding area, call Officer Adayar or myself. The oppressor doesn't give a damn about you. And he never did, he never will. What happens to you when you trust in your oppressor, you're being oppressed even more. Death and destruction. Isaiah 31:1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots. You trust in the white man because he has a military. The reason why you think the reason why you trust in the white man because he has a military and you think you don't is because you were robbed of the knowledge that you have the strongest military, as a matter of fact. Listen, Christ is cracking the sky with 200 million angels. He's slaughtering all the heathens. It's to the point where is it, second Esdras? The heathens are going to stop fighting each other during World War III. They're going to fight Christ. Like, imagine all the heathens making a truce to fight Christ. What does that tell you? Like, what does that tell you? Listen, Christ, listen, the army of God is a force to reckon with. If all these nations has to turn around and stop fighting each other and fight Christ, that's, yeah, it should tell you something. But you trust in the might of your oppressor. Because your oppressor conquered the whole world. You trust in his might. You don't give a damn he's not for you. You don't give a damn if you're a second class or third class citizen. You are in his shadow instead of shielding yourself in the shadow of God. And we'll see what happened with that, right? For time's sake, real quick. Because they are many, that's why you trust in your oppressor. There are many. Listen, you can't defeat the Americans, you can't defeat the Spaniards, you can't defeat the Canadians, the British, the Israelis, you can't defeat the Russians. So you side with some of the oppressors. That's it. Whichever oppressor you want to side with, you go side with them. Because you trust in chariots because they are many. And in horsemen because they are very strong. That's why. Not knowing that America is living on how you call it again, on an old reputation of being the big bad boy on the block. No, not anymore. Canada and America got infiltrated by China. What was it, last year, with a spy balloon or 2 spy balloons? And nobody detected it until it was too late. Listen, the oppressor is not as bad as he used to be. This is why you're going to be oppressed even more. Let's finish the verse and we'll go to that verse in Revelation, right? But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Let's get Revelation 12 and 12. You're just going to get oppressed even more. Your oppressed that you have trust in, that you think is strong, is really not. It's done. It's over with. Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Woe to the people over here. Why? We're going to see why. For the devil, who is our oppressor, the white man, is come down unto you having great wrath. Listen, he's pissed the hell out. Because he knoweth that he had but a short time. His reign is over with. Is why what do you think Trump had to be elected? They need to make sure that, we gonna double down on the oppression that we subjugate them under. We need to make America great again. It's a must. You understand? What does the Bible say? Pride cometh before destruction. Listen, there is no people more proud than these oppressors. You understand? And they know the time is coming to an end, but they can't accept it. They can't fathom the fact that they're not going to be in power anymore. Their time is very short. They have to make the most out of it. Real quick, I'm just going over real quick over these precepts for time's sake, right? Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. That's your oppressor right there. You understand? That's the oppressor. He's so proud that he doesn't think anybody will bring him down. And because he doesn't think anybody could bring him down, you don't think anybody could bring him down. Because he's the authority. He said nobody could mess with America. So you think nobody can mess with America. You think nobody could ever mess with Canada because he says nobody can mess with Canada. You understand? He says he runs everything. So in your mind, he runs everything, and that's it. Ain't no if, ain't no but. He's the authority. He's the final word. Right? That's the thing. That's who that's your mental state as a slave. Nobody could bring down Massa. because Master said nobody could bring him down. You understand? That's why. You go to Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. For context, or for time's sake, Obadiah the whole book of Obadiah is really talking about the Edomites, who are white people, the Caucasian race. It says what? The pride of thine heart had deceived thee. Again, they think that they think they're bad and nobody could touch them. But the pride of thine heart had deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Y'all know why they call themselves Caucasian? People call them Caucasian because they call themselves Caucasian. Come to find out, Caucasian just means cave dweller, which is the clefts of the rock. For people who don't believe that Esau or the Edomites are white people, who are cave dwellers. They literally call themselves cave dwellers. We didn't make that up. They did. Because they know who they are. You understand? Whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Listen, because he thinks like that nobody could bring him down to the ground. You think nobody could bring him down to the ground because he said so. You understand? And a lot of y'all are running with the Make America Great Again, Make Canada Great Again, as if it was ever great for us, ever. It never was. It never will be. This place is not our rest. What's that? Micah? This place is not our rest. You understand? We should not try to fix this. There's no way you're going to be able to fix your oppressor society by trying to have you be part of it. By having you not just be a third or second class citizen. There's nothing you can do about that. They don't give a damn if you try. You could try all you want in vain. You understand? We have to separate from our oppressor. Us, like, listen, what's that that word? I think it's insanity, right? No, what's that word again? When you do something over and over again, expecting a different result, right? And you keep doing it, but you still get the same result. I think that's insanity. I forgot if it's insanity or not, but that's what we suffer from. You understand? Even insanity, really, when you look into it, insanity is really also, well, it is a mental illness, right? Danielle is saying insanity, that might be it, right? When you do something over and over again, expecting a different result, you always get the same thing. That's Black people, Hispanics, and natives. Insanity also, the concept of it is a mental illness, right? It's so severe that a person cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. That's insanity. You cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. You will never be part of the white man's world. That's reality. The fantasy is that, well, what did Lil Wayne say? Lil Wayne said, I'm a young, rich nigga in America. Nigga, listen, Lil Wayne comes from one of the most racist states in America. You understand? I have a high school friend, right? I have a few of them. As a matter of fact, one of them said, well, we're allowed to sleep with white women now. Another one said, you know what? I could buy weed and it's legal. That's it. Listen, this is just to show you how destroyed we are, right? Again, oppression make it a wise man mad, and you think you achieve something because you can sleep with a white woman. You're not supposed to sleep with any heathens. You're not supposed to sleep outside of your race. You did not achieve anything but piss off the Mosai even more than he's already pissed at you. You understand? That's all you achieved. Nothing more, nothing less, right? Give me one second. Let's get, for time's sake, let's get Psalms chapter 118, right? Psalms chapter 118, verse 8. We're running short on time. The class schedule have changed, so we will be live next week again, but this time for the Brotherhood class in French next Thursday, right? So the Psalm chapter 118. Verse 8. Psalm 118, yeah, that's the one. Psalm chapter 118, verse 8 says what? It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. And y'all doing the total opposite. The absolute opposite. Y'all trusting in man instead of trusting in the Lord. That's not even the only precept that tells you to trust in the Lord. Again, what is it? Proverbs 3 and 5 says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. But now that you're trusting in man, would that mean that you consider your white man your Lord? Is that what it is? Or you just don't trust in the Lord at all? Which one is it? You understand? You need to trust in the Most High and not in men. What do you do when you go vote? The exact opposite. You understand? As you read in Deuteronomy 17 and 15, your leader, right, has to be chosen by the Most High. You understand? Let's go into Proverbs 29 and 25 real quick. About to end the class. If y'all be part of the school, click on the sign-in link. Don't forget, you're in 90 days. Click on the sign-in link, the sign-out link for the class, right? Let's go to Proverbs 29 and 25. Proverbs 29 and 25 says, the fear of man bringeth a snare. Listen, just like Daniela said earlier, why did the chief priest, the Pharisees, decide to sell out Christ? Because they feared they would lose their position in the Roman society. They would not be second-class citizens no more. You understand? They will be, listen, they're going, they said, y'all better not choose Christ, because if you choose Christ, you're going against Caesar. And Caesar's going to slaughter all of you. He's going to slaughter all of us. That's why they chose Barabbas instead of Christ. Because they're scared. They're weak. And you're scared thinking, you know what, if we go against white America, then we have no protection. Listen, white America is the reason you're oppressed. White America cannot function if it's not destroying Black America. Canada cannot function if the natives are not oppressed on reservations. And Canada cannot function without the racism that they put Blacks and Hispanic under. But you're scared. You're all talk. You want to talk about we need to do this as a people, we need to do that, but you're really scared. All you had to do, or all you had to not do, is vote. All you had to do is not vote. You understand? But because of your fear, you think you're going to be able to make a change by voting. You think you're going to be able to make a change by joining the police force, joining the army, show that there is no racism anymore. It's just a what do you call it? These idiotic Negroes, they say it's a state of mind. Go tell God that racism is a state of mind. God is the ultimate final boss of racism. You understand? The fear of man bringeth a snare. You're trapped because you're scared. You're trapped in this oppression because you're scared. You can never get out of this darkness that you're in this dark tunnel that you're in. You will never look for the light because you're scared to walk in the dark, seeking the actual light. You will gravitate to any shining thing that you see around you. Why? Because you're scared. And because you're scared, you will remain trapped in this darkness. You will remain trapped in this oppression because you're a coward. Proverbs 29 and 25. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. Listen, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Trust in the Lord. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. We have time for 2 more precepts, yeah? Let's go to Proverbs 3 and 5. Proverbs 3 and 5 says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, with all thy mind, all thy spirit. Trust in the Lord. Don't be a coward. Don't be scared. And lean not into thy own understanding. Don't think that, yes, I do have a choice. Y'all Christian talking about trust in the Lord, but you lean into your own understanding, thinking that you have a choice. You don't understand nothing. You're as dumb as a rock. You're as dumb as the Muslim God, Salakia. You understand? Trust in the Most High. Because if you do, what happens if you trust in the Lord? Proverbs 29 and 25, the fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. You will not have to worry about clean water in the reservation that is not being provided to you by your oppressor, because you trust in the Lord. He's going to make sure you get that clean water. Listen, Matthew chapter what? Chapter 6, verse 24, right? On down to the end of the chapter, it's talking about trusting in the Lord, that the same way the Lord is making sure birds get to eat just for being birds. The flowers look beautiful. They're just flowers. They just do what they're supposed to do. The only thing you're supposed to do for the Most High to provide is to follow the commandments. And that's how we're going to end it, right? Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 says what? Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. This is the only thing that matters to so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You understand? Salakia. This is the only thing that matters. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. This is literally the only thing that you have to do. Nothing more, nothing less. You understand? Just follow the commandments. Trust in the Lord with all your heart so you be safe. Don't trust in your oppressor, because they're not going to give you anything but oppression. And this is not even a rocket science. You should not ask anything good from you should not expect anything good from your oppressor. Ever. And if you are, listen, at the end of the day, we suffer from madness, Stockholm syndrome, insanity, delusion. Insanity, we can't even make up the difference between what do you call it again? Between fantasy and reality. You have the fantasy that you will be able to be part of this society. One day we will walk. What did Martin Luther King said? One day little black boys with little white girls and little white boys with little black girls walk hand in hand. That was insanity. That was a fantasy. He actually achieved his fantasy. He went into a white woman, into multiple white women. Orgy Mike had post-nut clarity and realized his fantasy was insanity, because the reality is we were better off segregated. That's biblical, as a matter of fact. We were better off segregated. We should have never trusted in our enemy, in any of our oppressors, in any single nation. You want to fight white supremacy in Christianity? Don't be a Muslim. What is Islam? Islam is just Arab Christianity. It's the same goddamn thing. Islam is Arab supremacy. Islam is Arab Christianity. And that's it. You want to know how to fight white supremacy? You can only fight white supremacy with black supremacy. And where do you have black supremacy? In the I.S.U.P.K, under Commandant General YAHANNA. With that said, I'm going to end the class right here. You're going to stand and clap it up. I'm going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. Menavirgil Amajam, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Menavirgil Amajam Shabbat. Imajam, Barak, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Brakatham, meaning Yahweh in the name of Yahushai bless y'all. Yajamatah means hands down. We'll give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Sar, which means to turn. So turn and face the sisters if you have any in your presence. Menavirgil Amajam Shabbat. Imajam, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bahashem Yahushai, meaning Yahweh, watch over y'all in the name of Yahushai. Yajamata class dismissed. Again, we'll be back with a history class next week, right? We'll be back history class next Monday, starting 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and next Thursday we'll have the Brotherhood class in French. All right, Shalom, Israel.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel, and also please go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West.